because I didn't get the love I wanted, I was yearning for, I used to yearn for it. And I think that's probably why it was why I felt so different from my contemporaries, my friends. So because I was always frightened to take people home because I didn't know what mood my mother was going to be in and all those different things. And of course it was just so difficult. It was a tricky time.
Hello and welcome to this week's episode of The Big Chat. And you might notice I'm not in my usual surroundings. I have been very kindly invited by very dear friend and someone who I've known for many years, very godmother of mine personally, me, Coco. She knows me as Nicole, but she's done so many amazing things with me and with lots of charities that I've worked with. And I've kindly been invited into her sanctuary, her home. Some of you have seen what she does all over, online, will have seen this kitchen when she's cooking. And that is Rosemary Shrager. Hello, Rosemary.
Hi, Nicole.
You could call me Nicole. It doesn't matter. We're in your kitchen. Yes. Oh, we need to get your speaker.
Oh, sorry. Yes. My favourite spot.
Yes.
This is my very favourite place to be, and I have to say, actually, just here cooking and doing all my stuff. I'm a very happy beast in my own domain, and it's rather like last night. I had a very heavy few days. And of course, this week is because it's been publication day yesterday. So I decided to finish off last night with my own bottle of champagne. So I sat there on my own drinking a bottle of Reynard, which of course was delicious. It was delicious. And if Reynard of you are missing, if you're actually listening, I need another bottle.
It's a very beautiful bottle.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Bit of DP, all that. Reynard. No, a bit of Reynard. I think it's very good champagne.
So other than drinking champagne,
free bottle, please.
Other than drinking champagne, you've been very busy. We've got your books here. I mean, this is really, I wanted to talk to you today because we wanted to talk about you, because you're always there. As everyone knows, you're an ambassador of the Soapbox that we do every year. You've been amazing. You've been with me from the very beginning. You race in the Soapbox every year. You've been incredible support to me personally as a friend.
But who wouldn't be? Who wouldn't? You've been, I have to say to everybody out there, Nicole has been, I might give my time. It's my time. They're the ones who do all the work behind the scenes. Oh. So you have, not only do you say thank you in droves, but you are the kindest, nicest person to actually even want to help. Oh. But I consider just, you just make it fun. It's not a hard thing to be with people who actually are such givers, and the team behind your soapbox race are quite frankly unbelievable. And I am always looked after, which, heavens forbid. I am becoming a bit of a diva though. They've got to stop it. So but I must say
I'm not going to take you in the buggy though. I'm not the golf buggy experience.
That was very funny, climbing up the hill. Us getting up the buggy and climbing up the hill was quite something. My weight, it was, I think I had to get out at that point.
Polly said I nearly killed her. Polly from Pickering Cancer Drop-In said she was like, you actually nearly kept going up the buggy because we did have to go at quite speed.
Yeah. It's quite a thing.
We needed momentum.
It's quite a kid. But I like buggies. I like my own buggies.
And you've gone down in the carts. I mean, you're fit. You have done so in the time I've known you.
Yes,
you've done so much.
I have, but without people behind me.
Yeah.
The thing in life you've got to understand. Well, you do understand that whatever you achieve in this life it's not alone. You're not doing this alone. Yes, you're doing it by working very hard behind the scenes, but so is everybody else on your behalf. And without that team of people behind you, you wouldn't ever achieve what I have achieved, like you've achieved and I've achieved. Without those people, you would never have done what you do, and that goes for everybody. So it's never a one-man band.
You've got to have the right people.
You've got to have the right people behind you to help you. And also, you've got to appreciate what they do. And I know you do, and as well as I do. Oh, you are. You're always very supportive.
I try to.
And, the thing is, this is terribly important. And I can genuinely say that all the years I've been on television, I've been on series, I've done so many things. and written so many cookery books and now into novels, which I love. You know, it's just without that team or that help, I wouldn't be where I am today. And the other thing is, without the people investing time in me, in watching on television and almost just liking me is such an honor, because it's, you know, you should appreciate that. The fact is that anybody who says, can I have a selfie? I would never say no. I've only once said no because I genuinely was in a hurry. I was missing a train, I think. I was going to miss a train and I got it just in case. But I genuinely had to say no. But otherwise, I would never, ever say no to anyone to say for a selfie, how are you or whatever. And if I see somebody recognizing me thinking, oh, I know her, or who's she, I would say, hi. So, you know, this is so important because obviously you can't be cocky about where you are. It's thanks to the grace of God where you are today is because you appreciate it.
You're very down to earth, I think, Rosemary.
Goodness me, you can't find anyone more down to earth than me.
No, you are incredible, and you have been ever since I met you.
I don't change.
And you're fun.
Oh yes, you've got to laugh at yourself, because without laughing at yourself, nothing is worth it. Because we all caricatures.
And when did you? So if we go right back to Rosemary as a little 11-year-old, we just discovered this morning some of these amazing pictures that are in Rosemary's home, and some of those that she's actually created herself. When did you start to sort of realise that you had something that you wanted to share with the world? I guess is the way of saying it.
First of all, I'm going to be a little bit serious. I had a really unhappy childhood. And that's all been, it's all been written about. Well, it hasn't actually until my autobiography, but I can't, I think if I wrote about it, you'll want to commit suicide afterwards. So don't worry about it. So basically, and also I don't believe in sort of saying things that's going to upset the family in any shape or form. Yeah. But I said something the other day in the Times, which I would never have done had my mother been alive or my husband. So consequently, you can start talking about things because you don't want to upset people, but it's got to be done in such a way. So my childhood, going back to the beginning, I loved art. I loved painting. So of course, you were looking at some of my art, and it's a couple of my own works on my walls. And of course, I did win competitions and things, and it was great fun. But I was very different from other children. I was so different.
Were you?
Oh my gosh, I felt different. It was very strange because I knew, even at that stage, I knew I was bonkers. So, and I used to giggle a lot. I couldn't help it. So, I don't know. It's just, I was just very, I was just different. Yes. And because I think one of the other things was because I didn't get the love I wanted, I was yearning for. I used to yearn for it. And I think that's probably why it was why I felt so different from my contemporaries, my friends. So because I was always frightened to take people home because I didn't know what mood my mother was going to be in and all those different things. And of course it was just so difficult. It was a tricky time. We might have looked as if we lived in this amazing world of going to, sort of deb parties and that's debutante, by the way, and all these things, and going to boarding school and things. But it didn't work like that.
It doesn't always.
It doesn't work like that
on the outside.
No, it doesn't happen inside. So it was all mental, really, and it was all difficult. But in saying that, I have no resentment. I have no harking on it.
That's lovely.
Because it's what it was, and my mother could not help it.
No.
So you move on, and I learned from a very early age that she had a handicap, which was fine, and it was all fine. So I had to learn as a child to be very independent and get on with it. But the one thing I did want to do was leave home. So of course I was desperate to go to boarding school, which I went. Yeah. I was desperate to get married, that I did. So I was desperate to be on my own 2 feet. And that's when it all started, really. When I started developing, yes.
So did you start with art? Art was the first thing that created
Yes, going to art college. I did that for 5 years. I was at the Heatherley for 1 year. I was then doing a year's foundation and 3 years interior design.
Wow.
But having done that, I worked for architects in the city.
Yeah.
So I did designing, but I was designing the layouts for the Miller Howe Hotel at the time. I'll never forget. And I hated it because all I wanted to do was meet the chef. And that was
you?
John Tovey. And I didn't meet him only because I was such a lowly technician. So, of course, I actually decided at that moment that I would actually go into cooking. So that's when I started doing, I left, I gave my notice in, and I started doing director's lunches. And I'll never forget at the time, we were doing the Dolphinarium in Oxford Street. I mean, where you'd have dolphins in Oxford Street, God only knows. But we did. So we designed the whole Dolphinarium thing.
Yeah.
It doesn't exist anymore, by the way. You can't go and see it.
No.
So it went a long time ago. Anyway, so I left and I started doing director's lunches, as I said.
And that's how it all started?
Yes.
So you always knew you could cook, clearly.
Yes, but I realised after a short time, but because in between I got married and had children.
Yeah.
But the thing is, there has to be a bit of a synopsis.
Yeah.
But in between time, I actually realised I really didn't know as much as I did. Because every time I got stuck. I might have had Mastering the Art of French Cookery by Julia Child, and I might have done all that. But of course, I used to phone Claridge's and the Dorchester if I ever went wrong. So of course, I did all that, and they always used to say, "You do that, or start again. Just always start again."
Yeah.
So I used to do that. So I continued phoning them for many years.
Wow. In fact,
they got used to me. It's Rosemary on the phone, head chef. Hello. Or executive chef, I would say at that time. Yeah.
And that's how. And so, how long ago was that now?
Oh my goodness!
I mean, you know.
50 years ago.
Because some of the books that we've been looking at this morning,
50 years.
Just some of your books that when we were talking
it's
about.
It's a long time ago.
A beautiful, beautiful journey that you've been on.
Yes, but I've been cooking professionally for about 40 years. Yes.
30, 40 years.
Yes, 35 years, 40 years.
And lots is happening at the moment, isn't it?
Oh, gosh,
I mean,
yes.
the last couple of years, I feel like there's... certainly the last 12 months has been since you last did the soapbox with us and we had your pie cart. That was amazing. You went down in Rosemary's pie cart.
Yes.
And now we've got Rosemary's pies.
Yes, but we've got to understand what's happened.
It's amazing.
Well, it's different.
And books.
No, but what has happened is I've got a different genre now, which is totally different from my cookery books. Before it was only along the line of cookery.
Yeah.
Now this is like, I'm actually an author.
I know. I love it. I know.
But if you'd asked me 5 years ago.
The Last Supper.
If you'd asked me 5 years ago, I would have laughed in your face.
Would you?
Yeah, I would have said, don't be so stupid. No.
Really?
I can't write. No. Yes.
So, I mean, this is your... So, which is the most recent? This is... The proof is...
The proof in the pudding.
And I've just had some pudding for breakfast this morning.
Really?
I was like, well, no, you gave it to me.
Oh, yes, you did.
Christmas pudding.
Oh, yeah, that was Christmas pudding.
Thank you, which is amazing.
No, actually, it's Christmas cake you had.
Christmas cake I had.
Yes,
I'm stand
not
corrected.
Christmas pudding.
This
Proof in the pudding.
And this was out yesterday.
This was out yesterday. Publication day was yesterday.
Wow. So 22nd of February.
22nd of February. And I have to tell you... publication day is really exciting. I never thought this was never the same with cookery books. Being a novelist, it's a totally different thing.
Yeah.
And
you've been busy talking to a lot of people, haven't you?
Yes, it's totally different.
Who did you chat to this week?
Yes, so many people. I mean, around the country, everywhere, Scotland, name it, papers, you name it.
Yeah.
Television, Zoe, lovely, Jeremy Vine, all that lot.
Yeah.
I mean, I've done it all. But, the thing is, I mean, it's my third time on Jeremy Vine. Actually, I've been on, you go on these programs quite a lot.
Yeah.
But it's all to promote the book, obviously. And it's always the same thing on the same day.
Yeah.
It's good fun. And but there's certain things I wanted in the book and they've done it, which is really important. For instance, big writing.
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah.
Well, when I read a book,
yeah,
if it's little writing, shall I read a little bit from the book?
Please do.
This is page 33.
Read me some of your book.
Read
us all some of your book.
No. Okay, so you're going to have to, right, I'm just going to do it there. Yeah, there we go. Suki was the first to the window, but Prudence wasn't far behind. The scream hadn't just brought silence to the green, where moments ago the air was full of whoopies and cheers and gales of laughter and the joie de vivre of a crisp winter day. It had brought stillness as well. Out there, every soul was frozen solid, as if this truly was a picture postcard. except in the picture postcard. Mouths weren't ordinarily open in terror. In the picture postcards, a girl wasn't ordinarily sobbing in the arms of her traumatized father. In the picture postcards, there wasn't ordinarily a dead man's arm hanging out of the body of a snowman, while the man's arm hanging, the snowman, while a dozen horrified families looked on.
Oh, my word.
Prudence could not run as quickly as Suki, but together they tumbled out of the front door of the Grange, hurrying past the place where their camper van sat, its bright colours of peach and cyan, now capped in thick snow, until they reached the edge of the green. Only moments had passed, but the petrifying cation of the village green seemed to have passed, but to have worn off. But families were covering their children's eyes. Children were being marshalled away. Multiple telephones were out there being waved in the air as people sought reception from strong enough to put through an emergency call. Yeah, don't worry, that's my thing. That'll be gone in a minute. Emergency call.
Emergency call.
Yes, emergency call. Yes, police, somebody was shouting. Police, fast! And ambulance was bringing an ambulance. But somebody else was screaming, though. Now that Prudence had got close, she could quite clearly see that no ambulance was needed, for the arm that hung out of the snowman was frozen solid, its fingertips rimmed with dirt, with a vivid blue, whoever the body belonged to. It had been dead for some time. Sitting here, waiting to be discovered, the cruelest of anecdotes to the chocolate pox winter day. And here was Prudence Bulstrode and her kitchen hand Suki looking straight into the face of another grisly murder.
I love it. And that the character is based on the main character.
Oh, Prudence Bulstrode, me.
I mean, that's what I love.
Suki's my granddaughter.
You must have had so much fun doing that.
Yeah.
When you read, I mean, you are amazing at reading and talking and speaking.
I'm not amazing at reading.
You are.
I'm always terrified of reading aloud.
We did get an emergency call during the emergency call, like real time, which is quite special. So thank you for that. But it's like, to me, it's like creating a dish. When you create a dish and you create that excitement and that energy, that's what this book feels like. It feels like lots of, I can really feel the colour.
Certainly got energy. You have to describe, what you have to do is describe the situation.
Yes.
It's all very, the whole thing is description.
Yeah, absolutely.
Then it's action.
Yeah.
Description and action. That's what it is.
But imagine, I mean, also, where'd you come up with the ideas? I mean,
well,
do you like
first of all, I did think about putting the body into a big Yorkshire pudding.
Did you?
Because the biggest Yorkshire pudding is 45 foot square. So I thought, now that would be quite good to have the body at the bottom. Then I thought, if it was becoming a TV series, that would be too difficult to create.
I love the fact you're thinking ahead on this one, Rosemary. It's like, if it does get televised.
No, but I've already signed the contract with the production company.
That's amazing.
So we'll see if it actually gets taken up.
Goodness me,
yes.
That'd be brilliant. Where is there a 45-foot Yorkshire pudding?
Well, it's the biggest Yorkshire pudding they've won that's been made in Yorkshire.
That's amazing. Okay, well, so the proof in the pudding and the last supper.
That was the first.
So this was the first, second.
And the next one is called, the next are Too Many Cooks. And actually, it's set in Cornwall. So this one's the Cotswolds and this one's North Yorkshire.
And are these all places that are close to your heart?
Yes, these are all the places I know.
Oh, so it is kind of a journey of your life.
People I know, well, not really. People, it's made up, believe me.
Not really, but you know.
People I know, people I always wanted a camper van, so I give myself a camper van. People I know, places I've been to, and people. There's no point in if you're going to embark on something like this. I couldn't embark on anything that was going to be new because the research would be too big, and also it wouldn't be real. Think about this: viewers are very, very savvy readers, and they could see whether it's all pretend if you really know the subject. So the fact is, I know the subject really well.
Yeah.
You're in cooking, that is.
Yeah.
And I'm being taught how to write it properly in the right way.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. And you've had 3 books. That's quite quick in succession, isn't it?
Well, no, I'm halfway through the third one. I haven't got to be. It's a bit delayed.
I don't know where you find your time.
It's a bit delayed.
I don't know where you find your time.
Well, I must say, during lockdown was actually much easier.
Well, I bet it was, but still, there's
It was
also hard to
But
stay
it was
on.
hard. Well, I'm glad I had that during lockdown because it gave me time to develop it.
Yeah.
So, but this one now, no, I'm in the zone. I'm all in it. It's taken down in Cornwall in a school, so down in Penzance. That's all I'll tell you.
And then the pies. So your pies.
Yes, my pies are quite cool.
Look.
Yes, but we've got to take just a hint of rosemary out because people think when you have a hint of rosemary,
They need to add it. You're the rosemary.
But I'm the rosemary. They're not going to.
That's already in there. The hint of rosemary.
Yes,
it's
exactly.
Rosemary Shrager.
It's Rosemary Shrager. Rosemary'sPies.com.
I understand that. Maybe it needs to just be with a hint of rosemary.
No,
they'll still think
no,
that,
you
won't
can't.
they?
We've got to take it out, so we're redesigning the box a bit, and also it doesn't say on the actual doing. It doesn't say you've got to brush the top with egg because you really do have to. Do
you?
That. Yeah.
So how long do these pies take to cook? I think
About
someone's got their eye on one.
40 minutes, 45. Depends whether it's from frozen or defrosted. I'll give you these two.
Thank you.
It's okay. You can try them out.
Thank you.
And I have to say, I go to the factory. We've got to change on one. I need a bit more cream in the chicken and mushroom, and also I need a few more spices in beef with spices. So I need a little bit. So they're not quite right, but they are right. If you see what
That's amazing.
I go to the factory and do them myself. I actually cook myself.
Do you?
I cook the fillings. Yes, we're trying to. So we're getting absolutely right.
Good. So it's completely authentic then, isn't it? And it's your name on the box, but
Well, it's really important,
isn't it?
It's right. And we're sending them into pubs and things like that too, which is great. So and farm shops. We're having orders, pre-order. I bet you orders too, which I'm really pleased about. But I want them to be perfect.
Yeah, of course. Well, that's because you're perfection.
And also, I'm just bringing out a range of sugarless jams and chutneys as well. But watch this space because they're not out on the market yet. And I'm very excited because the thing is, I felt there's been a gap in the market for this because the most important thing is I'm diabetic. And
I didn't know that.
Yes. And so the thing is that I'm really trying to find the right thing. So I thought, well, I can't. And I love chutney. Yeah. I love cheese and chutney. So what do? I've got to do it myself. So I've gone in with a company and basically we're going to be churning out a load of these. And I must say, I'm so excited about them too.
But isn't that good? Isn't that the way often that you think, well, I want this, I need this.
Yes.
I'll do it myself.
Yes. Well, it's exactly because, but also I'm in a very privileged position to be able to, because I've got my name, because they're called Rosemary's Jams and Chutneys. Yeah. So Rosemary's Jam and Rosemary's Chutney. What else do you do? So the brand is Rosemary.
But that's as it should be, and you've worked hard to get there.
I have actually.
You've worked really hard.
Like Prue Leith, and everybody calls it Leith, so don't say Prue, so I'm going to be Rosemary, my first name, Rosemary.
This week's episode of The Big Chat was proudly sponsored by the Tunbridge Wells Soapbox Race, which we do a little bit with, don't we, Rosemary?
We do.
And also, you might notice our super specs, Edney and Edney.
I love them.
Tell everyone why you love Edney and Edney.
Okay, I'll tell you why I love Edney and Edney, because their choice of glasses, quite frankly, is incredible. When you go abroad, you've got the most fabulous glasses in Europe. You go there, they're fantastic. When you're in this country, we don't have nearly as good a choice as we do. And I must say, Edney and Edney do have a choice. They've got glasses from America, from all over the place. So really, seriously, now look at these. I didn't want anything too much because I didn't want to become a Prue Leith. So because she has bright glasses. So, I've got the ones that go there and here and underneath. So it's got a little twist to it.
Subtle.
And it's a subtle twist. I love it. But
also, you just tried these on.
Yeah,
Look. Look. I like those.
Do you like them?
I do.
Seriously?
I do.
Do you like them?
What do we think? Comments below. Like those?
Do you like those? Actually, what I would like is the people who see this, will you tell me whether you really like them on me? Because it's important I like them on television. Yes. You like them on television. So I need some votes here. So will you please...
Votes, please. Votes.
Okay.
Votes and trips to Edney and Edney, and buy your tickets for the Tunbridge Wells Soapbox.
Yeah, go for it.
What was it you said to the whirligig earlier when we were talking about me being Coco?
Yes, my nickname was Whirligig.
Was it?
Yes, my nickname was Whirligig.
Oh, it actually was Whirligig?
Yeah, it was Whirligig.
Why was it Whirligig?
Well, because I was a bit whirly, let's just put it that
You're
way.
still lovely and whirly. I love it.
And also giggles.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, someone did say to me yesterday, they said, "Oh, Coco, what, like the clown?" And I said, "Yes, thank you for saying that rather than Chanel. I appreciate that."
Coco Chanel, that's exactly.
Coco the clown. I did used to collect clowns when I was a young child. Yeah.
I don't like clowns.
They're a
frighten
bit scary
me.
now. I wouldn't have them now, but my mum and dad, when they used to go abroad, they always used to bring me back a clown.
Really?
From whatever country they went to.
Oh, they really scare me.
But yeah, when I was a bit older, I was a bit like, sorry, Mum.
Yeah.
But I was a bit like, I think when it came out, that was it. It was over. It was over. You know.
No, exactly. You wouldn't want to do that, would you? Oh my God. No.
But pies, I'm all over pies.
Well, pies have always been a thing, and one of my favourite things to cook is chicken and potato pie.
Is it?
Yeah, I absolutely love it. And my children, my family love it. My grandchildren love it. So chicken and potato pie all the way.
So do you honestly have to do all the cooking when you're with family? Because I would just be like, no one else is cooking.
Do you know, my daughter, Kate, is a really good cook.
Is she?
She is and she's done it herself, and she loves cooking.
That's lovely.
And she's very good, but my son is too. But what is so interesting is the man, how they actually face it is the man to the woman are totally different things. Whereas Kate will improvise and will really do lots of things. Tom will really focus on the exact.
That's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, but he's learning to improvise. He is improvising a bit more. But it's really interesting. But they're both fabulous cooks, but they know not to go into the industry because they know how hard. Well, I was never there at home, you know. So, of course, it was very tricky. So they're brilliant cooks. So they do look after me.
That's nice.
But Kate, I think of all of the two, Kate is the one, she never wants me to do anything, which is sweet, actually, you know, which is really lovely.
Makes a fuss of her mum.
Yeah, she really does make me, she makes sure she cooks for me rather than me bringing stuff to her, whereas Tom brings stuff to him.
But that's the son, isn't it?
But don't you think that's the son?
Yeah.
So, you know,
I look forward to the day. I mean, I'm not a great cook, but I do look forward to the day I can do that with my son because he's, you know.
Oh, it's fantastic.
I can't see my daughter ever looking after me, to be fair. I can't.
Well,
maybe that'll happen in time, but she's 11.
And she's 11 years old. Oh, funny. It will happen.
Got some time. Yeah.
She's got some time.
The moment she's a bit of a diva, but, you know.
No, let her be a diva.
Oh, I love it. She wants to be an actress. That's her. That's,
do you know what
she wants. So.
That's what you have to allow.
But she's kind with it, which is all that matters to me. You know, she's not diva. Yeah. She's just she's confident because she's been able to. I was never encouraged.
Yes.
I never thought I would be doing anything like this, like talking to people like yourself when I was younger. Because I was never encouraged in the way that I encourage my children to do anything that they want to do, you know, and be anything they want to be.
Exactly.
And I think that more people are encouraging their children more now, hopefully, to get out there and be creative.
Do you know? I think
more opportunity.
Life. I'm going to be quite philosophical now.
Good.
Life is totally different today, and I myself have to accept it because I was obviously in a different era. And I was, you know, life was simpler, life was easier, and you had a job maybe for life, who knows? But you know, then in those days it was easier than it is today. I think today it's a lot harder for the young, and they have to almost be more creative to actually be able to stand out. Standing out is incredibly important today, to be an individual. And also, it's more important today to be confident because I wasn't confident as a child. That was all to do with the way of life. We didn't go anywhere. We didn't do it. So, of course, everything was later in our lives. So today, I think there's a lot more barriers to climb for them. And I think because they're still learning these barriers, as we are trying to understand these barriers, I think it's really important that we give them space to develop it. New language, new everything. I don't understand half the words they say.
I don't.
But that's the way of the world today. And I don't think, I mean, I certainly have no reason to criticize or say my way was better because it wasn't. It was different. Whereas today they're moving on and they'll find the same way when they're my age. So, and times will be different. So, And the thing is, I always think the young have so much to teach us.
Oh, God, yeah.
I mean, because we just don't know.
No.
So they are living in a different world. And I don't think I would be as good as they are today.
So competitive.
For me, it would be too competitive. And I'd probably be totally non-CV. It's not CV or PC or whatever. On every level. So I would never get CV. I would never get anywhere.
Can you imagine, though, if you were social media, like just as being a celebrity with the pressure that comes with it? Because you do have to be considerate of what you say, of what you do,
always,
where you are, of being PC, of all the... There is a lot of... And now, imagine being a youngster when you're still growing into yourself and you've got
these added pressures.
Everyone's watching you.
And also everything...
We weren't filmed when we were younger.
No.
We weren't on social media, were we?
Never. And also all the open sex today.
Yeah.
And whether they're trans, whether they're gay, whether they're this, whether... Do you know what? I'm glad it's open, but I'm glad it's all talked about.
Yeah.
But there again, it's still pressure.
Yes.
So everything is pressure. So I think, so there's a lot more experimenting going on. Yeah. There's a lot more... And I think that it's important, but also I think it's confusing.
Yeah.
So, I mean, look at, for instance, Donald Dahl. Look at his books. They're changing the words. I mean, why? Okay, a black tractor. What's wrong? I mean, it's a colour. I know it's not a colour, but in terms of, so they change it to a red tractor or a pink tractor or whatever the tractor is. But what I'm trying to say is, it's of its era, but it didn't mean anything.
It
meant nothing.
Exactly.
And all the different things. So they're changing these specific words like fat. It was in context because there was the larger boy in the Oompa Loompas and he went through the tube because he was a fat. But I like that. But
just because we don't speak that language today,
it was what
different.
Was said. It was different and it was wonderful.
Yeah.
And look at the big fat giant, and things like this. Oh my gosh!
And the twits and things like that. You'd never,
for goodness' sake, it was of its time.
I mean, Oscar Wilde.
Look at that! It was of its time, and we should not play around with it because what is wrong with it? Because are we all? And I don't mind putting this out. Are we all that sensitive?
Exactly.
That we all can't say anything anymore. And I just think that actually leave. I don't think you should say that today. But leave it where it was.
That's a very good. It's in the past. It's part of the past. Today it doesn't have to be. Tomorrow it doesn't have to be. But it was for its era.
I think it's right.
Relevant.
I think we ought to be very aware that you can't call people fat. You can't say certain
words,
things.
Yeah.
And I think we all should absolutely respect it. You can't do gollywog. You can't do that. I hate that.
You've got due diligence.
You've got due diligence, and you have to adhere to it because it's not fair.
Yeah.
And and I think that. Everything for me is you have to respect what is not done, what you cannot do you have to respect it. And I do respect it because I have a lot of friends, they're all different nationalities and come from all over the world. And for me, that's what it's all. And I don't look at people as being whatever they are.
Oh, no.
I look at people as being my friends.
Exactly.
So I don't care. So I think it's right. But where it was in the past, just leave it where it was.
Yeah, I agree.
And that's it. You don't have to do it. So anyway, that's my little bit of
no, but I agree on that.
Forward.
I often, if you think about something like a book as old as, say the Bible, the way that the Bible was written, I mean, maybe, I mean, this could be a bit controversial, but, did the seas really part, or was that an expression of exaggeration, which was used back in the day? Look at Shakespeare, look at the way things were written, the way language was used. It was very different language of its time.
It was so different. Someone only, if you're
we can't know.
One only believe. We don't know.
We're not time travelers.
But I'd like to believe certain things.
I would, yeah.
And that's it. So, but I do think that if we went everything that's written and we disagreed with it, every book in probably the British Library would have to be taken away and burnt.
Oh, and that would be so sad.
I mean, think of the British Library. There are floors and millions of books there. I mean, the one thing, what is so nice, the one thing that my book is actually, I know that all my books are in the British Library.
Oh, that's
and they
so
always have,
lovely.
every single book that ever comes out will always be there forever and ever and
Isn't
ever.
that amazing?
Yes.
That's amazing.
Which is amazing. Yes, I mean,
That's like your heritage.
Yes, well, it might not be there in 200 years' time, but you never know. Even if it is, it could be on just computerized or maybe in your eyes. Who knows?
I love it, though. I love it. And so is that... You've got a lot of empathy, Rosemary. Is that you do a lot to help charities? Obviously, you've done a lot helping us with the soapbox and with everything else.
It's right.
But what what other things are you doing locally? Because you are local. We won't give away your location.
No,
but you are local to our area.
Yes, I am.
And what else are you doing locally at the moment to help people?
Okay, well, first of all, I'm doing something called the Backup Trust.
Yes,
which is for spinal injuries.
Wow.
Now, it is for people who are. There's 3 layers. There's from the waist downwards, then there's from up here, and then there's complete. So there's the type 1. And it's very important that the National Health do not have any funding for showing people how to do wheelchairs or get wheelchairs or doing all these things. There's no money anywhere. So I help them with their big events, with getting, I'm not on the committee. I mean, maybe I would be asked, but I know they've been asked me if I'd be part of things, and I can't do that, but what I can do is help them with fundraising in terms of getting auction prizes from all my people. So I do phone all my celeb friends and people like that to get prizes and things.
Lovely.
And so we raised a lot of money, 200,000 after.
200,000?
Well, that was after, so we had 250,000. So we paid 50 for the certain things. It was a fashion show and we did really well. I was so happy with that, and it was at the Hurlingham Club, and we had 250 people or something, and it was fab. And this year we're having we're having 350 people, I think, on the.
So we expect
So
more.
it's gone right up. Yes, so we're having to find more prizes.
You're making my
elsewhere.
little soapbox 83.
No, but listen,
83,000.
and the only that's a lot of money.
But
it is a lot of money. The only thing, because they think about it, this is countrywide, and
so
so
lovely
they
to help though, isn't it?
well, they have to do wheelchairs. They have to find
it costs so much
cars,
money.
but also people go around helping them work them all out, and
That's
people
brilliant.
are traumatized. And there's a facility for all that with backup. So the other charity I work for, which is, although that's global and people will know it round here as well. The other charity I work for is One Community, number 1 Community Trust. So that is for the deprived sort of area where it's with a cafe, helping them with funding, substituting things like for food in the cafe, and for older people. We do give people food if they can't afford it.
Yeah.
We do give things. We have facilities for nursery, library.
Yeah.
So everything. We do have a big hall there where people can do exercises and things like this. The whole thing is self-funded. The whole thing. Nothing is from the charities. I mean, nothing is from anywhere. We did get there was lottery money at some stage, not for a long time. It's been going for 30 years.
That's unbelievable.
And I must say it is, and we've talked about it, it is the most amazing charity. So I'm doing all I can to help them raise money at the moment.
And
so I've taken on as an ambassador for it. So and we've had people donating. I mean, we need chairs and tables now and things like this, but we've had people doing decorating things like this for us, and it's do you know what, people have been so kind.
Good.
And but you wouldn't think there was an area like that in Tunbridge Wells. When you say Tunbridge Wells, you think, oh, I feel money. No, it's not. It is. We have a real struggle in some of the places around here.
So that's why we always support Nourish Food Bank with the holidays, because they do Hungry Holidays campaigns, because they're a real struggle for the holidays. It's a real struggle.
Exactly.
Food and things like that. So the thing is with you, Rosemary, just to finish up, is that you use your position that you've worked very hard to achieve, that you've got, like you say, you're not looking back, but you've gone through some hardships.
I have.
That you don't feel like you need to tell the world, but you have. You've gone through it.
Yeah.
You've you always see the best in people. You give so much. I know that.
Well, I try.
You do.
Yes.
You really do. I'm incredibly fond of you for everything you've
darling.
done. No, I am. You really have been wonderful and incredibly generous in your time, which is the most precious commodity anyone can have. But you're also helping all these other people. And I'm so happy to see all these things happening for you, because that makes me happy, because I really think all the things that you do for other people, it's lovely to see something coming back to you. So I really want this to do well. You're racing your pie cart for your charity.
Do you know what? I am genuinely so excited about going down there, because the last time I raced in it, I just had a hip operation. I was so scared, so much so they have just put it in a magazine, in the Nuffield magazine, about me riding down just after my hip operation. And they got a picture of me in the cart.
I need to get a copy of that.
Yes, I need to get a copy of that too. In the cart going, and I was so scared. So what I did was,
they're so pleased with themselves.
You hadn't realised, because what I did was I took, you didn't see, but when I went down, I took my right side off my bum like this. I was pushing my whole bottom together, and I was going like this all the way and holding myself in. So I was giving it double strength, because I was so frightened of going. And I said, please make sure we go slowly, Tom to Tom. Yeah. You're joking. You're joking. And I thought, oh my God, slow down. I was going like this. Slow down.
You're a good sport, Rosemary
I am,
Shrager.
but no, this year's fine.
You're a good sport. Well, look, you looked after me with my leg when I broke my feet and my face.
I felt so sorry.
You kept going, darling, put your foot on a chair.
Yes.
Put your foot on a chair. Because I'm like you. I refuse to go home. Even if everyone's there, then the show must go on, mustn't it?
You have to. But you have to keep going. I mean, can I just say about you that you have achieved with this? We need to say this, because people don't understand. We need to achieve. You've achieved with the Soapbox Race something very, very special, and you've achieved a community, bringing all Tunbridge Wells together. Because I tell you, it is the only show. You can talk about, all the other food festivals that come down here, but it's not local to what you do. And you have brought local people together, their businesses, and doing all this. There's something for Tunbridge Wells, and it's part of Tunbridge Wells. And I want you to make it bigger and bigger. Lots of food places and things like this.
Food this year.
This is really important.
We should get some pies.
Yes,
do you know anyone does pies?
Prizes?
Pies.
Oh, yeah. We've got some pies. Yes, no problem. We'll do some pies. Bit slow on that. The upcake there, wasn't it? So basically, you have been amazing, and you've helped. No, but you've helped a lot of charities. You really have yourself. Without you doing this, a lot of charities, the local ones, would not be having what they have today without
that's
your
what you want to do,
help.
isn't it? You want to help.
And that's what you're doing, and you're also helping my number one this year, which I am so grateful for. And which is very special. But you said yourself you didn't know it was there.
I didn't know it was there.
Yeah, and it's been going for a long time.
So it's doing good work all the time.
Well, it is. It's everybody's trying hard, because it's so hard for everybody. These people come in, you either eat or you heat.
It's all.
And it's one of the other.
We're very privileged that we don't have to be in that situation. So if we can help someone, that's the way I see it. It's like with anything, with mental health, or with if I can use my position or what I do to help one person, 2 people, 3 people, then I've done something good. Then I feel good, and I can sleep at night.
Do you know? I think that I couldn't agree with you more, because I think the philosophy of that is, we need to give.
Yes.
We all need to give back, and giving back, it makes you. Number one, it makes you feel good.
It does.
Who's trying to get hold of me?
I think that might be Channel 4.
Hang on, let's see if it's Channel 4. Hello? Hello?
Hi, my name's Lauren. I work for BBC South East today. I hope you don't mind me calling you. I got your number from one of my colleagues from Radio Kent.
Okay, listen, that's absolutely no problems, but can you please ring me back in about an hour's time? You're on, at the moment I'm doing a podcast, you're on it, but at least you're in Kent.
Sorry, hello.
No, at least you're in Kent.
Yes, hello.
So that's all right. It's Nicole here. Yes, Nicole's there. There we are.
Hi. The
There
big
you are.
chat. There
the
you
big
go.
chat. Okay.
Back in an hour.
All right. Bye.
Bye. See, this is the life, Rosie. You have got to have a chat with Yes, look, you've got some time, but we need to get you off the phone because
No, but I'm doing Solent, BBC radio.
You are doing so much. You were talking to Zoe Ball this week. You sang "Happy Birthday" to my dear Beau down the phone.
Oh,
he couldn't believe that.
Gary.
Yeah,
Oh my
she
God.
sang "Happy Birthday" to Gary
Do you know,
down
I'll
the
tell
phone.
you a funny story.
He loved that. He was like, "How many people have Rosemary Shrager sing
don't.
Happy Birthday down the phone in the car on loudspeaker?"
Yes,
Just his little smile.
It was so funny.
Very happy.
Well,
so.
I have to say, I did. I sang "Happy Birthday" to Sunita once.
Did you?
Yes.
Oh, Gary's gonna love that.
Yeah,
It's gonna be like me and
in the
Sunita.
in the green room. So I sang.
Wow.
I said to Sunita, "Look, I must sing you Happy Birthday." So she very politely listened to me, but not only did she say, "I didn't get a note wrong." Liar.
She's very nice. Sunita.
She was very sweet.
She's
there you
very
go.
nice.
So he's in good company.
So we need people to listen. People need to engage your website, which is Rosemary Well,
Yes.
books.
Yes.
We need to get books. We can get these everywhere, can't we?
Yes.
Everywhere. Pies is rosemary-pies.co.uk.
Yes, that's it.
And they can engage by showing an interest, can't
Yes,
they?
what
And then
they
they'll
need
find
to
out all their
do-
other stuff about what
Because
you're
the
doing.
website, we're just waiting on. What are we waiting on? We're waiting on something. Hang on. What is it we're waiting on? Do you know this commerce stuff? But we're waiting on something to do with this commerce
Just
stuff.
show an interest.
Just show an interest.
engage,
And it means
it'll
the
be
moment
fine.
you register an interest, you will
Yeah.
get the pies.
You'll get the pies.
And they
there'll
do
be more
come to you
pies.
frozen.
Yeah.
So you can
Good.
shove them in the freezer or defrost them and have them. But don't forget, you have to brush the top with egg.
Yes, brush the top with egg.
Because it's not on the packet.
And the hint of rosemary is this wonderful
Yeah, you're not
person.
going to get
You
me
don't
in the
need a hint.
pie.
We're getting you in a pie in June.
Yeah, I'm getting a pie.
That's nice.
And
to stop.
on the soap.
24th of June. You can see Rosemary in a pie.
24th of June.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm just about to go on a cruise with Ian Botham. And what we're doing is we're going down the river in France or whatever. And I think it's the road. I think it's either from Lyon to Avignon to Lyon. Not quite sure actually now. But we've still got spaces. Anybody wants to come. It's all for charity.
I love that.
It's all for the Beefy Trust or the Botham Trust.
Yeah.
Beefy Trust, I think. And .com. Anyway, you can come on this lovely river cruise with me, and you've got me and Beefy all week.
That's amazing. I might come.
Yeah, we're all coming. So money's going to charity. We're all doing because Beefy's bought the cruise. So basically, it doesn't matter how many we've got. We won't fill it up. Certainly not, because I think there's about 110 people allowed.
Yeah.
So about 60 rooms or something, cabins. But we won't get that. So it'll be quite a small. So it'll be an intimate gathering, but not too intimate.
But you need to watch out because we all know what's going through this person's mind.
Yeah, so it's going to be murder on the cruise.
Could be.
That could be the thing.
I can see some immersive experiences coming out of this whole.
Look at Agatha Christie. Poirot.
Exactly.
You got murder on. No,
I'm
that's
telling
all.
you. Agatha
Murder
Christie.
in the Nile.
Yeah, I can see it. I can see it happening.
Yeah. I'd love to be a Miss Marple.
Oh my God. I can imagine.
Can you imagine
being a
that?
Marple.
I love Agatha Christie.
I can.
I love it.
You've just
I'm
got
just the modern Agatha Christie.
You have got the most infectious energy, and I love you to bits. And thank you so much.
Yes.
Thank you for your time. Thank you for
She's
letting us
trying
into
to
your
stop, by the way. She's trying to stop.
Well, I kind of am, but I don't want to. I want to stay forever. I want to look at all your beautiful paintings. And I want to talk to you
And
today.
they're going
But
like
I
that.
also know you've got an important conversation you've got to have with the radio
Yeah,
and the
not as
TV.
important as you, though.
Oh, thank you. That made me feel nice. Thank you. So you know you're good. But no, I've absolutely loved talking to you.
Do you know
and
what?
Everything you're doing is just so great. You know, I'm.
Thank you.
You know, thank you because
No, I mean it.
goodness needs to come back to you, Rosemary, because you give so much good out, and I love it when it comes back.
Gosh,
because
thank
you
you.
never do anything with any expectation.
No.
And I love that about you.
I'm
you,
always
you
shocked.
Yeah, you are. You're literally like you. I remember we came back one day and we went into a local shop and I said, you said, I'm just going to pop in this shop, and I said, well, I'll wait in the car. You go into the shop, and you came back and you went, oh, there's a photo of me in there. It always seems a bit odd when I see a photo of myself in the pie shop.
I
And
couldn't
just
believe
like,
it.
You're like, oh, that's me.
Can I tell you something which is actually very funny?
Yeah,
You'll laugh on this
tell
one.
me.
I was in North Yorkshire.
Yeah.
And I'd done loads of telly and things. And I went into the paper shop. And you know how you have these boards out there with saying celebrity moves into Massam? I was so excited. And when I went in, I said, who's the celebrity? Who's the celebrity moving? He said, well, it's you.
That's the thing. That's lovely. That's what I
Oh
love
my
about
God,
you the
I
most.
can't believe it. I said, what? I'm not a celebrity.
That's what I love about you. But you give so much. And
Thank
I think
you.
it's nice for everyone to get to hear a bit about Rosemary. A hint of Rosemary this episode's been.
Okay.
A little hint of Rosemary. So,
Thank
you know,
you. Thanks
you're
for
a
having
wonder.
me.
Thank you for doing everything that you
So
do.
are you.
Yeah, well, we
Mutual
we do
admiration.
mutual admiration, and I'm just basically I just want to go and eat one of your pies.
Well, they're yours.
It's just selfish. I've
Yeah.
come in and had some Christmas cake for breakfast,
And you're
amazing
taking-
coffee,
taking
and now
some
I just want to
pies.
take some pies.
That's all.
Yeah.
That's cool. They're all yours.
Love you, Rosemary.
Oh, you too. You
okay,
take care.
you take care too. Thank you.
Thanks
Thank
for having
you.
me.
Thank
Thank you.
you.